Morning, everybody. Mike Reese here from Martial Arts Chat. Today, I got someone brought up a good topic of, what were my views on handicapped people being instructors, and then another one kind of ensued as far as it made me think about. Slander, and it made me think about why it's so hard for the martial arts, why it's so hard for some people to really kind of come out, and why it's hard for some of us that are really genuine about what we want to study and how we want to study. How do we do this? And how do we do this without having 15 people come up against us and say, this person's doing this or that? And how can we come off to where we're not just outright and being completely derogatory? So the first part of this is, do I believe handicapped people can be instructors? Well, let's first, what is a handicap? A handicap is anything that puts you at a disadvantage, or it gives you some sort of hindrance. It's just something you have to deal with it because you are unable to do something like someone else. It's basically having a disadvantage of some kind, or just something that perhaps it's just you're not able to do as well as others. Something that's just hindering you. To do certain things. This could be a mental handicap. This could be a physical handicap. I think everyone has a handicap. And let's face facts, we have to adjust our training. As instructors, we have to adjust what we teach people according to everyone, because everyone's unique. So we have to kind of give it that extra thought pattern. And that's why I don't like these cookie cutter type commercial businesses where everybody's just taught the same thing, and we're just saying, hey, you have to do exactly the same as this person and this person and this person. It just isn't going to work out that way. And it's not going to. It's not ever really going to work out that way. So now, do I think they should be instructors? I say, in a sense, they should be a specialized instructor to help us, to help other instructors teach and see it from that, from that vantage point. But do I think if they have an understanding and can, if they can vocalize it or visualize it or have assistance, I would say yes, they can be instructors if they have the knowledge behind them, if they have the understanding behind them. I say, why not? But, some people are going to not like this, but the thing is, I personally, though, I'm not going to go to someone who can't teach. It's going to be very hard for a person that's chair-bound to show techniques that are involving kicks or certain movements that they cannot do. On the same token, people who are in perfect health can't show a chair-bound person how to do certain things properly without really getting into understanding that stuff, or doing, basically sitting and being chair-bound. And even then, you still have movement that they possibly don't have. So you can't really see it from their perspective either. I don't think that it's wrong to take a person that has any type of handicap, though. And the reason why I don't believe that's wrong is because I think if you're a good instructor, you can overcome that. You'll study, you'll research, and you'll do what you can to help that student. That's it. In my opinion, that's only going to happen in a small group, or that larger school is going to have an instructor that's a specialty type instructor that helps specialize in training people with physical handicaps. or mental handicaps because they know how to talk with them, they know how to deal with them, they know how to show them things. Um, I've showed things. I've taught people that are mentally handicapped. I've taught people who are, I've worked with people that are physically handicapped, and it's not easy because you really have to start. It makes an instructor a better instructor, in my opinion, because it really makes you think. It really makes you go, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I don't know. But at the same time, I also had to look at it this way. I have to adjust my training for, say, a big guy compared to a small woman, because they're unique. That's different. That's a different perspective we're going to look at. And so we have to change up trainings anyway, or you should be anyway. My 6'2", 280-pound guy that I'm training, he's going to do things differently than the 5 tall, 90-pound soaking wet female that I have in my class. It just doesn't work the same, and you have to vary it anyway. So, do I believe they should be instructors? And like I said, to a point, I do believe to a point they can be. Do I think that there's limitations? Yes, I do think there's limitations. But I think everybody has a limitation. Everybody has a limit. I don't think there's anybody that I've ever seen out there that has not had a limit or understanding. You know what I mean? That's just me. People, even if it comes to the fact that it comes really easy to you, yet you don't understand how come it's really difficult for this person to understand what you're talking about. For you, it's XYZ. For them, it's, train A left station Z, and train B left station X, and they're going 45 miles an hour, and what color is the sky? That's what it feels like to them. So if you have that kind of mentality of like it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because the answer's obviously 6, right? So they don't have a clue what you're talking about. They don't know how in the world you're getting that answer. It's it's different for everybody. So you have to adjust and you have to change anyway. So I believe that yes, they can, but not completely. And I think good instructors would know how to hone that and be able to hand that ability over. But a lot of instructors that I've known that are disabled in any way, it's because they either grew up with it and they learned how to overcome it, and that's how they know how to train and they know how to work with the disability anyway, because that's just how they work, that's how they train. And their instructors had to push and they probably had to sit down and really research and learn how to deal with them on this level. And then you also have those people that were not disabled before their training, became disabled after their training, or during their training, or during the time that they've been in martial arts, and then decided that, guess what? I'm going to continue training in martial arts, so I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to do everything I can to stay in the martial arts. And they overcome the obstacles and learn how to do these things, chair-bound, prosthetics, one-armed, blind, whatever the case might be, they deal with that. So, like I said, can you? Yes. Is there going to be a limit to it? Yeah. You got to be careful. Do it. I don't believe that we should look down upon them, but I do think we should try to give them assistance, and I do believe they need to partner up with someone that has complete functionality. And if they're physically handicapped, they need someone that's got complete function. If they've got a mental handicap, maybe they don't think as clear as most people, they need someone with that capability. And the only reason why I say that is because either that or you're never going to really get across what you're trying to teach completely, because you don't have the ability to. It's not that you can't or won't or don't have the skill set for it. Maybe you even have it in your head, but you just can't articulate it well. Well, maybe you just need someone for that. It's just, that's how it works. And that's my thing was my marketing sucked. I needed partnership in marketing and help with that. I just didn't get it, and it screwed me up. That's just that case. Now, onto the other part of this, which is slander. Now, I've had to deal with this because, I before met Frank, I jumped on that bandwagon as everybody else said he's a phony, he's a fake, he's a fraud. Because that's all you could find. You could only find the negative press about Frank Dukes and all the things, and you're kind of going, it does sound kind of fishy. I mean, it does make you scratch your head. But you could say that about a lot of people. I mean, you could scratch your head about a lot of different folks and go, maybe. But then this is where the truth is. There's three parts of a truth. This person's side, and a truth. Okay? So there's three sides to every story. This person's, and the truth. So and what's funny is you need to get both sides of the story, because what happens is you get both sides of the story, and the truth is right in between both sides of the truth. You know what I mean? This person overreacted to what this person said. So this person considers this person saying something. This person considers this person a liar, and really what it is this person did say something. They took it the wrong way. The truth is, it wasn't meant as a bad, slanderous thing, and it wasn't meant as anything that he was trying to say bad. It was just something that he kind of had a shrug on his shoulders about, like, I don't know if you could really show me anything more than, I mean, sometimes it's just bad articulation. Because what happens is there's a receiver, there's always someone giving the message and someone receiving the message. And however this person basically perceives the message, and however this person takes that message, is how it's going to get received. And when that happens, whether it doesn't matter which side it comes from, whoever takes the offense on this is going to be the one that's because of how the other person came off or perceived. And the other one didn't make it quite clear enough that that's not their intention. That wasn't clear. How do you deal with that kind of situation? Well, when things out there say, hey, man, this is what I heard. Someone needs to be bold enough, big enough, and mature enough to say, I'm sorry. One of these parties has to apologize and say, that was not what I meant. If that's not what you meant. If that's not what you meant, then don't, seriously, don't sit there and go, well, screw you, you lied about me. That's not how it should go. We should have the honor enough, loyal, integrity enough to just keep this private and all that stuff. Facebook and YouTube are the worst. Twitter, all this, these are the worst things to start airing crap out in. We want to take this at a different level. We don't want to be like the rest of everyone else that's out there that accumulates and takes their dirty laundry, sticks it on Facebook instead of putting it in the washer, and they just put it out there for everyone to smell. And it's like, you know what? I don't want to smell your dirty socks and dirty underwear. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Because you know what? And most people say, well, then don't look at my posts. It's my personal page and do what I want. Yes, but now it's out there for everyone. It's out there for everyone to see. And it's hard to take off. Even if you delete it, it's still on the internet somewhere in some back file for like 7 years. So you can never really erase it. And once it's out there, it's said. It's just like when you say something. Once you say it, it's said. It's done. And until you clarify, and sometimes it won't matter how much you clarify, okay? If police can still look at Facebook and use that as a way of legally saying you are now, this is illegal for you to say this on your personal Facebook, then guess what? Social media means you are going to have ramifications happen. Some sort of consequence is going to happen if you put stuff on Facebook. You might regret it later. You might say, oh man, I can't believe I said that, because you guys might make up. Then suddenly you've said something that you can't take back. You've posted something you can never take back. It doesn't matter if it's fixed. It doesn't matter what. It's always going to haunt you forever and ever. And so it's like, you choose this as these kind of things these conversations and stuff like this, let's look at it in a combat sort of way. These kind of conversations, these kind of situations, they've got to be more clandestine. You've got to do this behind the scenes and not air this out in front of everyone to see. It's just no one else's business. And when you start doing that, you make it other people's business. And when you start broadcasting it, now you're very close, if not on that cusp, if not completely outright doing it, slandering someone's name. Be very careful with what you're saying and doing, because you don't want to be wrong. You don't want to be absolutely wrong because you were just a little too sensitive. Or maybe you were just overreactive because you have an emotional reaction to things, okay? Let's face it, guys, you don't. As martial artists, we should have a higher threshold for this. And if you're on social medias at all, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you need to have a skin that's a little tougher than paper. You know what I mean? You kind of have to have that strong rhino type skin when it comes to people criticizing you, giving you a little bit of guff here and there. And like I said, as warriors, we should have that heart, we should have that mind, and that ability to just pass it off and just let it go. Or let's get some clarification going here. Is that what you meant? That is what you meant. Well, then I think our paths no longer will cross. All that help I was going to help you with, no more. You know what I mean? We gotta be smarter about what we're doing, rather than just reacting. It's not gonna help anybody. But so those are my opinions. What's your opinions? Give me your opinions. Do you believe that people with handicaps should be instructors, can be instructors? And also, what's your ideas about having these types of conversations? Should they be broadcast? Should anybody care? Or should it be done in a little more private manner? Okay? I give those questions to you. You can answer me on my Twitter at TFS Michael Reese. And you can also follow me on Facebook or leave the comments here. Leave them below, okay? You'll see my Twitter account down below, and I'll put my Facebook page down below. Follow me there and continue to talk about martial arts, and let's continue to be honest about it. Later.